A key importance when analyzing macroeconomics is to understand the difference between short-run fluctuations and long-run trends or growth. In order to help you compare the effects of the short run and the long run, we will provide two examples. One will come from Canada's economy, and the other example will be from Japan's. In the 1990s, the Bank of Canada designed a monetary policy to reduce and limit the inflation rate. To accomplish this, they actually set nominal interest rates high. This controversial policy had the public confused. How can a policy that raises interest rates be part of a policy designed to reduce both inflation rates and interest rates? This is when understanding the difference between the short run and the long run effects becomes important. We know that high interest rates discourages consumption and encourages savings now that people can get a better rate of return for their money. In the short run, this effect shifts the AE curve downwards and shifts the AD curve to the left, and we see an opening of a recessionary gap. Recall that in a recessionary gap, that an excess supply of labor, meaning more people willing and wanting to work than there is jobs available, will put a downward pressure on wages to fall. This will shift the AS curve to the right, closing the recessionary gap at a lower price level and thus a lower inflation rate. In the new long-run equilibrium, inflation rates and the interest rate are lower than before the policy began. Our second example comes from Japan's economy. For this example, we must understand that the short-term effects of savings are actually quite different than the long-term effects. Following World War II, sanctions against Japan prevented government spending on military. After the war, households and firms began to save due to the uncertainty of economic events. The government began to invest its money to improve the technology in the country. In the short run, this high rate of savings decreases household consumption and decreases firms' investment. This leads to a decrease in aggregate expenditure. The AD curve will shift leftwards and real GDP will fall. This increase in savings in the short run actually creates a recession. In the long run, after wages and factor prices adjust to the recessionary gap, the greater savings actually leads to more money in the economy. This lowers the interest rates and makes investing more appealing. This increase in investment in technology leads to a higher level of potential GDP in the long run. Japan's high savings rate over the years established a high growth economy. It is important to start thinking of the short-run changes in GDP as a response to output gaps, and the long-run changes in GDP as changes in the level of potential GDP.